So, good morning, everybody. Today, I want to share with you just a little micro teaching that I prepared for you. First, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Maria Camila Castro. I'm a 10th semester student on the bachelor's degree of foreign languages, right? Today, I want to bring it up a really important topic that for me was being really useful and during this pedagogical practice that I did during the semester, I could identify that this is something that it's really common in our conversations. So just for the start, I'm going to present first the lesson plan that we have for today's class, right? So this is the format that I'm using right now, right? The level for this lesson, it's intermediate. It's between B1 to B2, right? The topic of today is false friends in English. Also, we can know this topic as a false cognates, right? Basically, the description of the activities that I'm going to present today tried to embrace but also motivate some students to make the correct use or maybe identify all the false friends that can be implicit in our conversations in daily life. So the general objective for this lesson is first to raise awareness about false friends or cognates between English and Spanish and enhance language proficiency, right? The specific objectives for this is first identify and use false friends in English. The second one is to understand and express the false friends in a real conversation. And the last one is to practice the correct use of the false friends, okay? Just to provide you the first part of how we are going to manage this specific lesson. First, I'm going to make a little introduction regarding what is false friends and how can we identify them. So first, we need to know that false friends are words that look similar in two languages but have different meanings. Understanding this linguistic nuance is crucial for effective communication, right? For that, I could identify this important part that it's going to provide us more information about it, right? So according to the British Council, we say that, for example, we have some specific words that can mean something that is totally different from the original language, right? Um, Sometimes this is really common in the use of English and Spanish because as a person who speaks two languages that is bilingual, we tried to make this connection between two words that can sound to say I mean that can sound equally or maybe at the same, right? But the meaning is totally a different one. So we have sensible, but we have sensitive. We try to say that, and we can maybe acquire or say that because I'm going to say that you are so, eres una persona muy sensible. I mean that you're gonna try to use sensible because you or your brain try to make that connection and says, okay, if sensible it's like that in Spanish, I mean, or I'm going supposed to say that sensible, but sensible could be the same in English, but it's totally wrong. In this case, we're saying that a person is sensible, we can say that it's sensitive, right? This is an adjective, right? And with this, I have an example that it's really useful to make to notice that false friends are present every day in our life conversations, in our daily life conversations. The first one is my friend Bob has always been so sensible. When he was in his 20s, he's already planning for the future, right? Yes, sensible and sensitive are totally different. Sensible, it's a person who is razonable, who it's cohesive, could be, but also we have sensitive, that it's the real meaning of sensible, right? So if we want to say that someone is sensible, we need to say that someone is sensitive, right? That is basically what we say. Okay, right now I hear this specific word um, in many conversations, and it's embarazada and embarrassed. Yes, maybe when we try to express, sorry, an idea or something like that, we try to locate or maybe say that that specific word could be related to another one that could sound the same, right? But in this case, if I want to say that somebody it's pregnant, that means that está embarazada, right? So embarazada and embarrassing are totally different words. Why? Because embarazada in English we can say that this person is pregnant, and embarrassed we need to say that this is an objective and means that someone is not feel a little bit, that doesn't feel comfortable with something. So for that we can say that it's avergonzado. For that I have a specific example of this, and it's I tripped and I fell down the steps in front of everyone. I felt so embarrassed, or it was so embarrassing. Me caí por las escaleras delante de todo el mundo. Pasé muchísima vergüenza, right? So, yes, this is about the false friends, false cognates that when we try to express something in our daily lives, it's really common to make these kind of mistakes, but it's something that we can continue working on that, right? For that, I just want to share this little, uh, some slides, yes, that I found really important. That first, we need to say that false cognates are part of words that seem to be cognates because of similar sounds and meaning, but have different etymologies. They can be within the same language or from different languages, even within the same family, right? Uh, okay. In this case, we're gonna focus on the contrast between English and Spanish, right? Because as you know, we can find another false friends or false cognates in different languages. For example, between maybe, I don't know, German and English, because the pronunciation could be the same, but the meaning is a different one. So we can do that. In this case, we have a library, that it's biblioteca, but we have librería, that it's bookstore. So we need to find the difference. And this is always, it's related about the context. What are you talking about right now? I mean, when you're situated in a specific context, you need to know how to identify that false friends that can be present. Also, we have exit, that is salida, but also we have éxito, that is success, right? This is some examples of false friends. Also, we have ropa, but we have rope. Ropa, it's clothes, right? But rope, it's a cuerda, right? We have also assist, that is ayudar, or asistir a un lugar. We could pretend that sometimes it could be, yes, I'm gonna assist to a place, but it's not. I will need to say, I need to attend to a place, right? Right now, it's the same example that I provided you before, that it's embarrassed and embarazada. That is embarrassed, avergonzada, and embarazada, it's pregnant. Okay, right now we have excited, right? That is emocionado, but also we have excitado, that it could be sometimes sexually connected with this kind of context, right? But are totally different. We have totally different meanings for that. Also, we have carpet, that is alfombra, but if we want to say carpeta in Spanish, but we want to translate it to English, we'll need to say that it's a file, right? Also, we have a soup, that is a sopa, but if we want to say that we need a jabón, we need to say that is a soap, right? It's, yes, it could be difficult at the beginning to understand all these false friends, but I guess that this take times once you're continue practicing about it, right? Also, we have record, that is grabar, but also recordar, that maybe could be sound the same, but it's the meaning it's totally different. Record, grabar, remember, recordar. So it's totally. Yes, these are some examples of that. I would like to clarify this at the beginning because sometimes we could face this kind of uh, specific topics that are not really uh, normal or usual in our context. However, I guess that it's important for the communication, I mean, the communication process, right? Because sometimes when we try to express an idea, for example, with a native person, we try to, we make this, yes, we make use of this specific false friends. And sometimes it's like a language barrier that we could find there, right? So just to continue, we already give a little introduction about what is false friends. Also, we have, and I already provided to you some examples about it, right? Now we're gonna find this next part of the lesson. It's the interactive vocabulary quiz. With this, I'm going to provide you a quiz with common false friends, and we're gonna engage to all the people to identify the correct meanings at what are important to make use of them, right? So just let me find here the exercise and we can continue with it. Okay, so just a second. Okay, just a second. Okay, as I was mentioning, we are gonna do a little quiz that with that the purpose of this quiz is maybe identify what is the best option, like of the word that we're gonna present in the question, and with that identified the importance of this. Just provide me 1 minute. I'm going to present the quiz to you guys, and we can continue with the lesson. Okay, so it's loading. Okay, so just we need to be a little bit patient with this. Okay, perfect. So yes, we can continue with this. Okay, for that we have this little exercise that is for false friends. I'm gonna present all the questions and we're gonna try to identify what could be the best one, right? Okay. Okay, I guess that we can start. Okay, provide me 1 minute. I'm gonna join. the quiz so we can start. And we can start the quiz. And okay. Okay, perfect. So this is just a simulation about it, and we're gonna start the quiz with that. Okay. So as you can see, fabric in this case means first, the first option is fábrica. Also we have hilo, we have tela o camiseta. So in this case, what do you think it could be the best option? It's definitely tela, right? Right, so jam means hambre, mermelada, jabón, jamón. So which is the best option? It's definitely jam. Okay, assist, that it's related with the previous example that I provide you, that here we have some of the correct options. Assist means asistente, ayuda, asistencia, asiático. Assist in this case is ayuda. Diversion means diversión, división, desviación, dimensión. In this case is desviación. Okay. Signature means asistir, sign up, firma, asignatura. In this case, signature means firma, right? Library, as the previous example that I provide you, could be a biblioteca, un lugar donde comprar útiles escolares, depósito de libros, un lugar para comprar libros. So what do you think it is? If you want, we can say once again that in this case, a library could be a bookstore, but also we have library in which you can find it's in this case it's library, right? Library means biblioteca. Lecture means lectura, leer, almacén, conferencia. In this case, lecture means conferencia, right? And we have the last question that target means tarjeta, notas, objetivo, empleado. In this case, target means objetivo, right? So with this quiz, what I'm trying to do is basically try to maybe advise or make the distinction between one language and the other one. And this quiz, it's really useful, you know, because sometimes, as we know, these false friends are present in every day, right? So right now, I just want to share with you some of the questions that we have, right? That was basically multiple choice that we are presenting the meaning, the probably meanings that we can find there, right? And with that, take advantage of this. Okay. Okay. So let's move on to the next part of this lesson. That right now we're gonna have a little role play. With this, my objective is first create scenarios using false friends, right? It's maybe take this new topic and applied the new knowledge into the reality in new specific context, right? With this, my objective is also encourage all the participants to navigate in conversations with awareness about what are they talking about, right? A role play for this, I'm not going to provide you an example, is, for example, try to ask for an specific place. As we already mentioned in the examples, if I want to go to buy a book, I could say that yes, I will go to the library, but in this case, it will be more aware if I could say, okay, I'm going to a bookstore just to buy a book, right? Yes, we have, I'm trying to say this again because for me it's important, and for all my students it's important to be attentive of the context. Depending of the context, what are you trying to express? The use of all these false friends, it's relevant, right? Now I'm going to present a discussion on pronunciation. The idea for this is to explore the words that might sound similar but have different meanings, and also practice the pronunciation with highlight distinctions, right? So with that, the discuss on the pronunciation is useful. So for that, I just want to present this short video for 2 minutes from the British Council, in which we can identify some of the words that could sound similar, but the meaning is a different one. So yes, as I already mentioned, with these false friends, we can identify that if we have different languages around the world, we can find all the similarities that we can find in each of them. Sometimes this also can happen in all the Hispanic languages. Some languages that maybe are not related at all, but they have the same roots. For example, could be all that languages that are relatable with the Latin, right? We have, for example, French, we have English, we have Spanish, and other languages that maybe they are not connected in the same way, but in something in any specific in any specific factor, they are similar in something, right? Could be in pronunciation, in grammar, in the use, in different contexts. So it's really useful to take into account that the false friends are part of our daily conversation, right? So just to continue with this little micro teaching, I would like to present to you a crossword puzzle that with this I want to construct identified the grammar part, how the words are similar, are written in a similar way on the exactly way they are pronounced in a similar way, right? But the meaning it's a different one. And with this, we can reinforce to understand through a fun and a challenging activity that the false friends are useful for the act of communication, right? So right now I'm going to present to you the crossword pulse, and with that we can continue with the micro teach. Okay, right now I have here with me uh, this um, crossword pools that with this basically we're gonna identify around all these crossword all the different words that are related as a cognates and false friends. As you can see in this specific activity, you can say that you can find words such as embarrass, major, dinosaur, shampoo, rectangle, fabric, English, person, factory, greatest, biggest, favorite, to attend, folder, to answer, context, put, carpet, celebration, to assist, number, difficult, possible, pregnant, long, success, large, parents, relatives, PA, exit, right? We have also the word bank, right? That with this, you can find all the word bank that are related with that because we have the words that are in English and also the words that are in Spanish. The time remaining for this activity is between 10 minutes. It doesn't take too long to do it. Because this is a micro teaching, yes, I understand that the time is short, but it could be a good activity to do it in a presential way, right? With some students that are in that we can see face to face and maybe interact with them. And after this important activity, we can ask, what are you find there? And what maybe are what is your opinion about this topic? How can you implement this important topic in your daily conversations, right? In your learning process of English, right? Just to continue, I want to conclude this micro teaching with a real world application. With this, my idea is basically discuss the instance where false friends could lead to misunderstandings and also share some experiences or news or maybe articles that could highlight such situations. In order to apply this specific topic to some circumstances that could lead a misunderstanding, for example, I'm gonna present my personal experience. Me as a student, and at the beginning when I decide to uh, studied this language that is English, at the beginning, yes, well, it was really difficult to me to like maybe mark or highlight the difference between the words that could be similar in English and Spanish because as a bilingual person, we tend to find or maybe translate the words to our native language, right? So I remember that when I was studying this, I guess that was maybe in the 2018, I guess. I remember that in the institution that I was studying English, I was trying to express that at that time my aunt was pregnant, right? So because I didn't have at the time a lot of vocabulary about it. I was saying, okay, I remember my aunt is right now, this is the example, right? My aunt is embarrassed because she's already married, she has two kids, but right now she's waiting for his third child. So she's very excited and happy. And I remember that the instructor that was there in the classroom said, "What are you saying that if your aunt is married and if she already have some kids, why are you saying that she's embarrassed about something? Because this is something that it's not to be embarrassed." And I couldn't understand at the beginning because, as I already mentioned, I was not aware of the difference about these two words, that it's embarrassed and pregnant. Yes, because to me, embarazada and embarrassed could were basically the same, right? After make and understand the difference, I could identify that yes, it was a mistake, right, at that time. But always I'm trying to interact with my students and says, okay, yes, it's an error, it's a mistake, but remember that with this error you can, I mean, um, take advantage of the error and continue working hard on that and say, okay, if this is not the correct word, I'm going to expand my vocabulary and and apply the new words that I'm learning right now to express something that it's important to me. That in that case, at the time for me, it was that my family, it's gonna be bigger because my aunts, they're trying to have more kids and something like that and stuff that are related with my family, right? So with that, I was trying to implement every day and start learning every day some specific words that were related with this world friends, right? So for me, that was a real world application in which I could identify the importance of how can with this lead to misunderstandings, right? Because for this barrier that we have, that because I'm a Spanish speaker and the other person is from another country and didn't know Spanish at all, we can have this misunderstanding. At the time, she says, "Okay, you are not to be your aunt. Not it's is not. I mean, your aunt is not going to be embarrassed to have another kid, right?" So this could be a very good example of misunderstanding. Just to conclude, uh, this micro teaching, I would like to present some of the digital resources that I use, the materials that I was trying to use, right? Because this is a micro teaching in a virtual way, I couldn't bring any whiteboard or markers. However, when I'm giving classes in a presential way, in a face-to-face way, I'm always trying to use and take advantage of all these materials that are already useful. Just to have and to provide to you a conclusion about this lesson, I would like to say that raise the awareness of all these topics are important, right? Because as a teacher, we can identify that even as a teacher and also as a student, we can make mistakes all the time, right? So the idea of this is enhance the language oral proficiency and take advantage of all the digital resources that we have in our hands. And with this, enhance and encourage to our students to continue working in the oral expression. That for me, it's important as much as the grammar way or the grammar part, sorry, and many other factors that are important for the communication. I think that the oral proficiency skill it's useful because with this we can interact with others, express ideas, and with this make the exercise in a better way, just to exchange knowledge about a topic that maybe we can domain or maybe not. But this is the idea of this learning process. So for me, it was a pleasure to provide this little micro teaching. And I hope that you can enjoy this lesson and use this important topic in the future. Thank you so much. My name was Maria Camila Castro, and I hope that you enjoyed this micro teaching. Thank you so much.